Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Sin.
And I'm Nick.
And this is This Week in Cars. All right, so we're still experimenting with a new format where we bring you the latest automotive headlines that we think are interesting to us and that we want to discuss, along with Facebook finds, bargains, where we discuss used cars and what we would buy from an enthusiast standpoint, followed by a mystery link. And this mystery link is a surprise topic that Nick will bring up and we'll discuss. So, getting into it, Nick, what are we talking about today? What's new in the automotive world?
Yeah, so some of the news we're going to cover is a possible Escalade V competitor. We're going to talk about the new Honda CR-V because we can't get away from Honda.
Honda just keeps on dropping new cars, but yeah, go on.
It really does, yeah. And then we're going to talk about the electric Ford Maverick and the Ford Ranger. It's called the Lightning. Both are called the Lightning Edition.
All right. These are all great topics that I want to get into. So, from the top, let's talk about the Cadillac V competitor. Who's making it?
Well, it's a stretch, but there's a possibility that Jeep may be dropping what's called a Tomahawk. They filed a...
So
yes.
Is this a Wagoneer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
A Wagoneer.
All right.
But they filed not a patent, but a trademark to coin the term Tomahawk. So we really don't know what they're going to use it for, or if they're going to use it for, or if they're going to use it at all. But if they do, there's people saying possibly a
Wagoneer Tomahawk, or just Tomahawk the name?
Just Tomahawk the name. Right now, it's pure speculation on whether this is going to happen or not.
So
but
here,
I want to talk about the possibility of it and how awesome that would be.
Well, it's probably going to get a Hemi, maybe a Demon motor or something stupid like that, like a Trailhawk motor, right? And I say stupid because it's not stupid, but it's something that so ludicrous that I love it. But yeah, when the Wagoneer came out, I wasn't sure if they were able to compete in that, like, I guess, large luxury
Suburban.
SUV market. Yeah, well, they could compete with the Suburban, but I didn't think of them as like a Cadillac Navigator competitor because they've never really toyed around in that price bracket before. But came out, people loved the whole packaging, all the screens, everybody was talking about how luxurious it was, and it sold. I know a couple people that own the new Wagoneer. So it's pretty crazy that they're able to just enter this new category and not only compete but do well. So,
but I think they've been positioning themselves as a luxury brand for quite some time now. You know, look at the Cherokees. I think the Cherokee is the number one car of all millionaires in this country. The number one choice for millionaires in this country is a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
That's surprising. You know what it was? Probably before the SUV craze. It was like a Toyota Camry and a Honda Accord. But
I can imagine that, yeah.
But yeah, that is surprising. And I know that Jeeps have been getting up there in price, and the Jeep brand has a crazy following, especially now with everybody.
It has crazy resale. It has crazy, and I mean mostly because of the Wrangler. But I love the Jeep brand. I think it's awesome. I think they've definitely premiumized their whole lineup.
No, it's going to be interesting.
So
what they do.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense that they're playing around in this. Because to me, the Jeep is a little bit higher than like your standard Chevrolet. Is it a Cadillac competitor? No, but I think it's already flirting with that. And I think the new Grand Cherokees, man, I think they look awesome. I think they look very luxury. I think they're going for more of the higher end look with the L and the just regular Grand Cherokee. I really doubt they would ever make the Tomahawk. I really doubt they would ever put the Hellcat engine in the Wagoneer. But I mean, Dodge is known to be very competitive when it comes to who's the top dog, aka what we're talking about is the Raptor TRX battle, right? The Raptor came out, Dodge was super jealous. They said, hold my beer. We're putting a 707 horsepower V8 in a truck, and I mean that's a amazing truck. I still the Ford F-150, the Raptor still outsell the TRX by a ton. But
now this is the thing that's crazy. We were made to believe that it is incredibly difficult for brands to make these performance edition cars, and Dodge just does it, and they
do it like it's no big deal. It's amazing. Like I love Dodge. And again, I think I've said this before. I think they're going out on top. You know, they know that the gas engine is never going to be around again, possibly. Yeah. And they're saying we're going to do it big.
Or maybe they just ordered like a shit ton of like Hemi motors. They're like, we got all these motors. We got to put it in something.
Well, that and they had a bunch of development. You're right. They had a ton of dollars wrapped up in the development of that engine. So they're like, we might as well get some use out of it. They got to put in as much, like you said, as many vehicles as possible. But the speculation is, will it be a CTS or a Escalade V competitor? I highly doubt it, but that would be pretty cool.
If they put the
Trackhawk is dead now, so maybe they're itching to put it into something.
I mean, even if they did it for a couple of years, and
just to compete with the Escalade V.
And if they did come out with the Trackhawk, they put the same motor, the Trackhawk Hellcat motor in it, it would one up the CTS or the Cadillac V. So
right,
yeah, checkmate. Interesting.
Anyway, next topic. Go. Your favorite.
Okay. All right.
Next topic.
All right. Next topic.
The 2023 Honda CR-V. I'm anxious to hear what you think about this because you're the Honda guy.
All right.
All right. But just.
All right. So I'm the Honda guy. This is. So the CR-V, I actually really like the previous gen CR-V. This new CR-V, it looks like looks the same from the back.
Yeah, but it looks like a Tiguan. It looks like a perfect mix between a Tiguan and a RAV4. If you look from the front angle, it looks like a Tiguan. The same back glass and everything, same proportions pretty much. But then the back, it looks a lot like a RAV4.
I love the new interior direction that Honda's going with. It's gonna sell well. It's gonna be probably the best selling SUV in that segment.
Yes.
That class. I got no problem with it. It's the same way that I had no problem with the HR-V. It's going to be a good seller. It's probably going to be a great car.
And I think what they're doing
controversial about it.
No, it's a great looking car. I have no real complaints about it.
Yeah.
They are making it a little bit bigger, which is great because the HR-V, if you remember, got a little bit bigger. Now it's on the Civic platform. It was on the Fit platform. So that's a little bit bigger. Now they have to kind of bump this size up. And I think that's where the CR-V really lagged behind as far as the mid-size SUVs. Because RAV4 got huge.
RAV4 got so big that they offered in it with a third row option.
It's crazy how big that car is now. And same with the Tiguan. And, this, I think the MX-5 or the CX-5 is like very similar to the CR-V in size. So I think it's nice that it got a slight bit wider. It got a few inches longer. So it's nice to see they're getting some bigger sizing in there just to compete with like the RAV4.
Yeah, it's a good package. I think the interior wins it for me. If I was in the market for a mid-size, I guess kind of like compact to mid-size family SUV, in that kind of like mid-30s price range, that would probably be something that I would definitely test drive. And it's probably starting price, like it's going to be more expensive than the HRV, so we're probably talking high 20s,
mid 30s, yeah. If you're decently loaded,
base price,
low to mid 30s,
and then like the EXL package, probably like mid 30s, fully optioned out, like their touring edition will probably be like 40 grand. All right.
So the base model is going to be stuck with that 1.5 liter turbocharged from the Civic Si, which I think for this vehicle is going to be a little underpowered.
I mean, it does okay. Not
that you're going to be a speed racer in a CRV, but you're going to
need
some
okay.
power.
It does okay in this generation, and it gets better gas mileage than the HRV, even though it's bigger and heavier. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I mean, they don't right now. Honda doesn't really have a ton of engine options, so they have the 2-liter. And some of the, I'm not sure if they completely got rid of the 3-liter V6. So, and then the 1.5 liter turbo, and then the motor that's in the HRV, and that's basically it. So maybe a hybrid option in the future, maybe plug-in hybrid.
Yes, they have a hybrid option right now. So that's one of the big things is
so
they have a combined system that generates 204 horsepower. It's a kind of like the Atkinson cycle electric hybrid system. It's similar like what the Maverick is that we'll be talking about.
So
here
that's a step up. So that's gonna offer a little bit more performance, right? Performance, all around performance, not only power performance but economical performance.
Yes, it's only 10 more horsepower than the all gas version, but you get that instant torque.
That, and you probably get the same gas mileage city as you do highway. If I had to take a guess. Yeah. What are the fuel economy numbers? Do you have them?
It looks like they haven't released it yet, but the 1.5 is said to get 34 on the highway.
Okay.
20 city and a 28 combined.
That's pretty.
So that's pretty. That's really good. Actually, it does say that the hybrid, it's 40 combined.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's okay. So my wife has a Tiguan 2020, I think, and she loves it. And that thing has the 2-liter turbo, or no, it's got the 1.8 liter turbo. But man, we love that car because the back seat is huge. Like if you look at that car from a side profile, you notice how big the back door is. It's kind of weird looking. They do a good job of disguising the body lines and making that back window not look too small, but it is.
So the back door is big, makes it easy to get the car seat in and out, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like the little. Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the 1.8 turbo's got some pep, and that thing we drove that thing in North Carolina, and I think I averaged like 33 miles a gallon. Like it was crazy. And it's super roomy, decent sound system. It's typical VW.
Lots of thought. There's lots of ergonomics, little organizers. It's just They thought about a lot of things, and the longer that you own it, the more that you discover about the vehicle. That's what I kind of like about just a lot of European cars in general.
And VWs have just crazy simplicity, and I think that's what appealed to me when I bought a VW. Is just there's no real frills, it's just kind of everything works. It looks decent. It's clean. And not a crazy price.
So,
back to the CRV. I think they're gonna make a killing on this car. It has that certain market where they're not super sporty. They're not going to be towing anything. The towing capacity on this is really not good. It's just going to be
it's like 1,500 pounds or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Which I think it fits in the marketplace, right? Like the RAV4 is more geared towards outdoorsy, off-roady type people with their
it's crazy how the RAV4 kind of grew up and became something. You know, like RAV4 was always this dinky compact SUV for the longest time, but over the last couple generations, it's morphed into like a more utilitarian 4Runner. I guess.
Yes. Yeah. But I think the old RAV4s used to be actual, like, pretty decent off-road vehicles, and now they've completely got away from that. Definitely more civilized, pedestrian type, everyday person. But this is even more so on that spectrum. Farther down that spectrum.
Toyota's got a ton of SUV options.
Yes.
Because they got the Venza now. Venza's back, which is kind of a weird spot because it's not third row.
It's like, and it looks like a van.
Yeah, they got the Highlander, the Sequoia. Land Cruiser is not here, right?
No, it's not here. It's gone for this year.
Yeah,
it's gone for good, probably.
And then, of course, they got the Corolla Cross. Okay, Stephen.
Yes.
All right, go watch. Go outside and watch. All right. Is that the last one, or what were we at?
No, we got one more.
Sorry, everybody.
So, last topic is the electric Ford Maverick.
Oh, yes.
They're gonna call it the Lightning and the Ranger Lightning, which I'm excited to talk about this.
They can't even fulfill all the orders for the Maverick, and they're gonna release an electric Lightning Maverick. This is crazy, man. But
so, if you know anything about the Lightning, they offer two models. They offer the hybrid gas electric model, the Atkinson Cycle. It's like a 2.5 liter inline four, non-turbocharged, and then it has a hybrid electric motor attached to it. That one gets 40 miles to the gallon in the city, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
And I truly think that Ford, they just killed it with the Maverick, because I see so many young people, and me included, that I would love the utility of a truck. I would love to, whenever we're moving, throw a refrigerator in the back, throw a couch in the back, throw some stuff in the back if you go to Lowe's, it's for the everyday DIYers that don't want a giant truck. Like, what happened to the good small trucks? I think the Ranger is, almost
the
all
good small affordable trucks, because they've always had.
That's exactly right. But they're not city friendly. They kind of sit up high. You look at the Tacoma. It's like you're sitting in a sports car, just elevated. Your feet are super high.
I'll give you two competitors that are always overlooked: Honda Ridgeline and the Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Yeah, but that's brand new.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Nobody talks about them. Everybody talks about the Maverick, but the Ridgeline's been out too.
I know, and the Ridgeline is very similar to the Maverick, but I think the Ridgeline's expensive. Like,
it's more expensive.
It's way more expensive, and the used car market for Ridgelines are insane. Like, I
didn't realize that.
Yeah, because it has the Honda name, it has that reliable V6. They go for crazy amounts of money, even on the used market. And I've never been a fan of the Ridgeline. I think it looks like a van of some sort.
It's like a pilot exactly. That just got chopped up. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing about the Maverick is there's not a lot of cars that start under 30 grand. And the Maverick is like 25 grand base price, is it?
Yes. And you can get the hybrid for really, really cheap. I think it's that starting price of 2025, somewhere around there.
And this Lightning will probably be direct to consumer, not sold through
probably.
Hey, did you hear? Did you see the issues with the F-150 Lightning? How I guess if it's towing something, the range is it goes to it's 87 miles on a full charge when towing absurd. A full load. Yeah, it's crazy. So the efficiency completely goes out the door.
Yeah, which I doubt that any landscaper or serious business person that tows anything would ever get that. I think it's going to be for the older gentleman that doesn't really tow. They just take their truck around town.
So yeah, this is perfect for just the daily driving, the person that wants a daily driven pickup
bigger
truck.
bigger truck.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you got to think, like, some people can't fit in a small truck. Like, there are people that are too large for a Maverick, even though it's very accommodating. It's like, if you're over 6'3", like, you're gonna need a full size truck. But anyway, the Ranger is coming out with a Lightning as well. Which the Ranger this year, they haven't released it in the U.S. yet, but 2023 Ranger is going to be a complete overhaul from the previous generation.
Okay, that's good.
So
people
we're seeing it. Yeah,
they weren't fawning over the for the Ranger.
No, it looks really just blah. I mean, it's kind of got that bubble top look. There's just nothing special about it. But anyway, in Australia, they've debuted this car because I think most of them are built there. But they've launched this new Ranger, so we kind of get a taste of it through those photos. But I like what they're doing. Again, they kind of have what we just talked about with the CRV, HRV, where they're making the Ranger a little bit bigger. It's going to be, I think, 2 inches wider and a little bit longer, a lot more interior space, because the Maverick, if you look at the interior dimensions of the Maverick, they're almost exactly the same as in some cases they're bigger. I can't remember which specifically.
Than the current Ranger?
Than the current Ranger, yeah. Okay. Which it's like, I mean, why would you buy a Ranger then?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Right. So it's awesome that the Ranger is going to get a little bit bigger. And then, as you know, we are getting the Ranger Raptor, which is going to be freaking awesome.
Do you know what platform? Is it going to be the same platform as the Maverick?
No. It's a completely different platform.
Okay, so it's going to drive different. Okay.
Yes, it's a traditional truck, where the Maverick is it's on a car chassis.
Oh, it's a unibody?
Yes,
pickup?
that's exactly what it is. It's
All
a unibody car chassis, essentially.
I didn't realize that. That's something new for me. Yeah. Now, my buddy ordered a Maverick, and he just got the confirmation that it's they're building it. I guess that's the update. Yeah. But for his use case, his parents own a grocery store, and he runs a grocery store. And perfect for that type of situation. But
yeah, the Maverick's crazy. It has an amazing payload. It has more payload capacity than an F-150.
That's crazy for a unibody car too. For a unibody truck, that's wild.
It is nutty what they are doing.
That's always been the crutch of a unibody car,
right?
Or unibody truck.
So the Ford Maverick is actually built on the Bronco Sport chassis.
Okay.
And then the Bronco, big Bronco, is built on the Ranger chassis.
Okay, so the big Bronco is a truck chassis.
Right.
So that makes sense because it's a real off-roader.
Yes, exactly. So you're going to get a lot more ground clearance. You're going to get more articulation and suspension. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be completely better. And you get selectable four-wheel drive in the Ranger, where the Maverick is full-time all-wheel drive.
Okay.
And dude, the Mavericks haul ass. Like, they have 270 horsepower, turbocharged that EcoBoost 4. It's a 2-liter EcoBoost 4, makes a ton of power, makes a ton of torque. All-wheel drive. I think they do 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds. And if you tune them,
I mean, all the reviews are pretty great on it. Everybody, has nothing but praises for the Maverick, which is the reason why it's so hard to get. Like, you can't get a Maverick anywhere.
I think that what this is,
I haven't even seen one on the road yet. So
I've seen quite a few here.
Yeah, I haven't seen them around here.
They're small. If you look at a comparison between them, a Ranger, and an F-150, and then an F-250, it's like they're very, very small. But again, they're bigger than a Maverick, or they're bigger than a Ranger somehow.
It's weird. That's like, you see things in photos and you don't really get a good idea of the proportions until you see it in person. It's kind of like the Integra. Like, you see the Integra in photos, you think, oh, looks like a TLX, and then you see them side by side and you're like, whoa, it's tiny compared to the TLX.
But the TLX has gotten bigger too.
Yeah. It's weird that it's gotten bigger, but like interior wise, it's not that much bigger.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like the 3 Series. Like all of a sudden, the 3 Series is the size of what a 5 Series used to be.
yeah. You know the TLX when they designed it, and that's part of the design, is they designed it to make it look like it's like a rear-wheel drive sports sedan. So like the front of the car is extended and the fenders are a little bit wider or longer to kind of give it like the rear-wheel drive proportions of a rear-wheel drive sports sedan. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, well, now you know. So now that it, like next time you see one, you go, oh, those fenders are a little bit elongated, and it does kind of look like a rear-wheel drive car. So, anyways,
but then it's not.
All right. So Facebook finds. I got 2 cars. I sent you 2 links.
I got them.
So, all right. So, first, we actually had a discussion about this. I think just between you and me. And it's like, what's the best sports car that you could find under $40,000?
$40,000. Yep.
Yeah, used. And at the time, the C7 Corvette was not widely available under $40,000. But now, I found you one for $39,000. And it's got a nice package to it too.
Got a Stingray. 2-door. Excuse me. Of course, it's a 2-door. Car is in great condition manually and mechanically. It is
clean title.
I can't read today. Clean title.
Yeah,
almost 2 tires.
2 owners. That's it. And Corvette guys, they freaking take good care of their cars.
Yeah, they don't even drive.
That's a generalization. This one's got like 60,000 miles, so this one's been driven. But
this might have been daily.
Yeah. So this may not be pristine. But
yeah. But $38,999. So right under that $40,000 mark. At 68,000 miles, honestly, I thought it'd be a little bit cheaper. I've never seen one really this high, especially a C7.
That may be one of the cheapest in America. That's a clean title, and it's because of the mileage. It's got a lot of miles, but they're pretty stout and reliable cars.
Very.
As long as the interior is good condition and the exterior is in pristine condition, I think you could probably assume that it was either daily driven or it's just got a ton of highway mileage on it. Because you see like Corvettes on the turnpike all the time. So
yeah. But automatic. It's gonna be a no from me.
Okay. All right.
Automatic. And I'm not crazy about that color.
Oh, that like metallic dark gray.
Yeah. I did drive one of these. My buddy had one. He had a jet black one. Mm-hmm. And it was a 7-speed.
Yeah.
And he had his wasn't the Z06. It was the one right below it, whatever that package is, where it had the Z06 bodywork, but had the normal engine. It was like whatever 450 horsepower or something like that. Awesome car. Looked great. Had that, like I said, the Z06 kind of wide body look.
Yeah.
That car is badass.
C7/M706. That was the last manual Z Performance Z06 car. That will be the last manual. Because the new ones aren't in stock anymore. Yeah. Okay. So you'll pass on it.
Yeah, I'd pass.
All right. Let the market come back. There'll be more. That's the thing about Corvettes, is they've sold so many of them, they depreciate pretty fast, especially the non-performance ones. Like, they usually, every time a Z06 version comes out, the standard versions always take a huge price cut. Yeah. And I remember, and in every new generation, then that Z06 generation drops down in price quite a bit too. I just, we always reminisce about what prices used to be for Corvettes. Like the C6, Z06 used to find them all day for like 25 to 30 grand. Yep. Now they're like 35 to 40. Not that much more. But,
it wasn't that cheap, but it was,
Yeah, and most of them low mileage, pretty well kept.
Yeah.
Manual.
Okay.
Yeah.
We moving on?
Yep. Next one.
All right. This is a 1991 Acura NSX,
Okay.
listed for $52,250. The description says, "Hello, everyone. Here is your chance to own a piece of automotive history. Up for sale is my 1991 Acura NSX. I've owned this NSX since 2021. It's clean title." He says it's a clean title with 5-speed manual transmission.
He's only owned it a year.
Yeah. This has already sounded sketch. Carfax says it's a branded title, exceeds mechanical limits. I'm not sure what that means, but he's saying it's a clean title, but it gets real sketchy here.
Okay. All right. Well, we know this is a past, and I did not realize that. But that is one of the cheapest NSXs that I've seen.
But it has 173,000 miles. This thing is flapped out.
So, NSXs are pretty high mileage. To service them, it's actually kind of expensive.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you could do a lot of it yourself, but I saw the service bill on an NSX that is available for sale for a pretty decent price. And this one's the one that is for sale. That 91, the top's been painted because the 91, the black it's usually the top is black, but that's red. So they whoever owned it, painted it. But yeah, the engine out servicing, and it had a whole bunch of things, and it was like $7,000 to do an engine out service, to change a time belt and all that stuff.
Jesus.
And I guess it does kind of make sense because it's pretty cramped, and probably the easiest way to get the engine to work on it is probably to drop the subframe and get the engine out. So no surprise.
Yeah, because that engine is legit. Yeah. It's a mid-engine car. There's a legit
mid-engine car.
Or there's a frunk and a actual trunk.
Yeah. So,
but get this. He says, "I replaced the ignition switch, spark plugs, whatever. Ignition switch? Why would you need to do that? Is it stolen?" There's a list of things that need to be sorted to get it back to tip-top shape. AC does not work. ABS doesn't work. SRS light is on.
All right, mechanically bricked. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and then if you look at the pictures pretty close up, it looks pretty clapped out.
Yeah, the SRS light is a pretty common thing. So there's actually a lot of things with that generation NSX that everybody talks about how reliable it is and how great build and all this and that, but they do have like these little quirks. So like the exhaust is never straight, and SRS light and little things here and there. So, all right, pass. You know what? The prices of NSXs are getting too crazy. Like, I would love to own that first generation, but now it's just like it's getting to the point where it's just too much. There's too many better options out there.
Right.
So like to get like a really good pristine condition one with low mileage that's been well maintained, you're talking like $80,000 plus. And for $80,000 plus, it's like
there's
a
lot of
territory.
Cars.
There's so many cars that you get for $80,000.
Yes.
Okay. And
all right, you ready for the mystery car?
Mystery link. Did you send it? You sent it. Mystery car link. What do we got here? Okay. All right. Cars and bids again. So, as an update for the last episode, the Saab, there's one day left on the auction, and you were guessing it would end around $15,000, right?
Yep.
Or that's how much you would pay. It's at $13,000. So, update on that one. This one is also cars and bids. It is the 2005 Volvo V70R. I love these.
Dude,
these
it's
wagons.
forbidden fruit. Look at it. It's a wagon, manual, 5-speed.
And I love how Volvo did the manuals. I love how Volvo did the manuals because it's like this cool like ball shifter thing. My friend, I've never driven one, but my friend had one and he loved it.
Have you heard the 5-cylinder on these?
Mm-mm. I'm sure they sound amazing. 5 cylinders.
So
sound
these
really
sound like the Viper, where
really?
yes, very low tone, where the Audis sound exactly like the V10 Gallardo, because it is literally a V10 Gallardo cut in half. But it's interesting because even with a ton of boost, they sound exactly like a Viper.
This particular one?
Uh-huh.
Huh. So
all the Volvo 5-cylinders, they all have a very low tone compared to the Audi RS3s.
Now this one looks modified.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it looks lowered. It's got some big old fogs on it. What's Doug's take? Read Doug's take.
Doug's take. Here's something we'll never see from Volvo again. A wagon with a turbocharged 5-cylinder engine, 6-speed manual transmission, and all-wheel drive. The V70R is one of the most exciting Volvo wagons in recent memory, and this one features a lot of modifications intended to improve performance and handling. It should be extremely fun to drive. The clean, accident-free Carfax report is a nice benefit that brings peace of mind too.
It's a lot of miles.
That is a ton of miles. But all these, I mean, you see them pop up on Facebook Marketplace every once in a while, and they all have. I mean, I've yet to see one that has less than 150,000 miles. I think.
Are they pretty well built? Are they stout? Are they pretty reliable?
I think so, because every one of them has a ton of miles.
I know Volvos these generations or this year are pretty. The only issues that people talk about are little electrical nannies.
Dude, what a good looking car though. It's boxy as hell. Big, spacious.
Those headlight wipers. I bet too that bumper's got some pretty nice chips
you
on
can
it.
see it from from far away.
I love the taillights on these. This actually reminds me of like the Japanese like wagons, like the Stega. It's like the Nissan. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Are those brakes? They're stock? Okay.
They're Brembo brakes.
Wow. Dude, this looks cool. And it's going for pretty good money right now.
Which is crazy because it's not clapped out, but it's pretty close.
Like how many it has? This must brings a lot of nostalgia to people. I love the color of the interior, that kind of camel.
Yeah, and the interior looks pretty. I mean, it looks amazing for 194,000 miles.
Yeah. That's crazy. Almost 200,000 miles. I would not even.
What a cool car,
thing.
man! Like I can't conceptualize anything cooler than this. Honestly, all-wheel drive, manual transmission, a 5-cylinder, right? The rarest of rare, turbocharged. I mean, you just get it all.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I feel like the craze for hot hatches now is at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they had their moment in the 90s and the early 2000s, but then it faded out of favor because I think a lot of people, I don't know if they were just over it or it wasn't the thing of the times, but I think now it's like, now the only thing you got is the Corolla and the GR Corolla, and then obviously the VW R, Golf R, but this would be sweet nowadays.
It's crazy that it's going for this much. It's modified. It looks like it'll probably
$17,500.
It'll probably fetch $20,000 for a 200,000 mile car. Granted, it's super rare, and I guess it's still in running condition. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because these types of cars, you just don't find them like this anymore. You just don't find them, period. So
yeah,
they're super highly desirable. I don't want to equate it to like a Civic hatch, but I see that with like the Civic hatchback market. Like you used to be able to find Civic hatchbacks for like $1,500, in decent condition. Now they're all been modified to hell. They've been wrecked, stolen. But to find one that's clean and good condition, even high mileage, you have to pay $15,000 for it.
Yep.
For like, just it's insane. It's because there's so many people that want it, and they just don't exist in good condition, stock, and all this stuff. So
the question is, would you buy this or would you pass?
5-cylinder sounds amazing. Manual. That manual looks like a fun manual to drive. I wonder if it feels like a gated manual.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird looking, because it looks like an automatic.
Yeah.
Because it has that cover over it essentially.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy it. But that Saab, I would consider the Saab.
I mean, the Saab is the deal of the century with this, because that had no miles. And that was few miles.
That was pristine condition too.
Pristine condition, and for cheaper.
You should try to get that one. You should bid on it.
I know, I want to. I think I have to get my account set up and everything.
See how my bank works is. All right, yeah, you should definitely consider. Maybe in the next episode we're gonna find out that you bid on it and you won at $14,500.
I would take it for that.
It's funny. I'm gonna put that link up in the video. We're not gonna get that many viewers anyway, so it'd be interesting if it'd be crazy if you bid on it and somebody that was watching, one of the few viewers that was watching, actually was like, "Oh yeah, it is a good deal," and then ended up buying it, taking it right from under you. All right, so that ends it. So
that's it.
Final thoughts? Anything that you wanna?
No, I mean the Wagoneer. The probability that the Hellcat motor will go in the Wagoneer is probably pretty low. So the Tomahawk name will have to be for something else, is my guess.
It's a cool name.
It's an awesome name. What else did we talk about? The
CRV, the Maverick.
CRV, gonna be a great seller. Maverick Lightning and Ranger Lightning. I'm excited to see those. I'm excited to see more Mavericks on the road. I think they're awesome cars. I'm excited for the new Ford Ranger to come out.
You gotta pick up manufacturing of those cars.
the Mexico plant needs to get their shit together.
It's gonna be so interesting to see what happens over the next couple months as far as car prices. Are they gonna level out? What's the deal? I know exotic cars are starting to drop in value. Cheap cars are probably gonna stay not as cheap as they once were, and that's just how it is when it comes to recession, just because those lower priced vehicles are harder to come by, and there's more demand. But I wonder if sports cars are going to become more accessible as this this recession hits harder and harder. So, and I wonder if I'll be able to get the Civic Type R. That's coming out next week. So
when will they start taking bids?
I don't know. I gotta contact the dealership here, but I'm super I think about it every day. I want one. I'm seriously like, I'm gonna get one. I'm already like, I can't wait to build one when it's available on the site. I just want to. It's gonna be the one that I would get, championship white or red, or those are the only colors.
You gotta get the red.
Red. I think red is for me.
Yeah.
Gosh, I want one so bad. Okay. All right.
Positive thoughts.
That ends it.
All
That's
right.
my final thoughts. All right. See you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.